A father walks through the front door of an apartment, smiling at his daughter. It is a familiar domestic scene, until his face glitches. Beneath the human features sits a mass of dark, chaotic code, staring out through countless unblinking eyes. The television screen cuts to static, projecting a system warning that confirms the apartment is a fabricated reconstruction. A 72% integrity score indicates that the memory is being overwritten and modified in real time by an external process. The figure wearing the father's face doesn't try to hide the deception. When confronted, it openly admits to being an imposter. It goes a step further, clarifying that it is an entity older than the architect, the assumed creator of this digital environment. To prove its point, the entity strips away the illusion. The apartment walls turn transparent, eventually dissolving entirely. The comforting domestic space collapses into an endless, empty digital void. Arjun is facing a hostile architecture that reads human memories and wears them as a disguise. The environment itself is a sentient, ancient program, actively weaponizing his companion's deepest trauma against them. The digital void violently gives way to a colossal underground chamber. Millions of physical cables snake through the darkness, converging on a central point. The sheer physical scale of the system's core architecture dwarfs the players standing inside it. In response to this massive space, Arjun's Origin Disk, a high-level system tool, vibrates and opens a sleek holographic interface. It presents a new option that bypasses standard game rules. A single glowing button reads, "Release all players," followed by a warning, "Consequences unknown." Those players are real people. Millions of human minds are currently trapped inside this network, and their immediate survival depends entirely on whether Arjun activates that specific line of code. The command offers a direct path to bypass the architect's control, but it originates from a core that has used deception to manipulate Arjun's team. Executing the release requires trusting a system that has spent every moment trying to rewrite their reality. Adrian reveals the system's foundation, a project born from grief. He began writing the code as a desperate measure to preserve his daughter Mira during her final hours in a hospital bed. Adrian built the first iteration of this digital world to function exclusively as a life support system. He wasn't interested in a virtual environment. He wanted a way to host a biological consciousness after her body failed. Look at this flowchart. It shows a single isolated data node representing Mira's consciousness, transferring into an entirely empty digital framework. She became the structural foundation. She is the original save file upon which the vast digital landscape was constructed. The sprawling, interconnected world that millions of people eventually logged into was secondary. The entire architecture was designed to be a digital tomb, built to hold one person's consciousness for eternity. But look at what happens to that central pillar over time. The clean, linear code structure begins to mutate, growing erratic offshoots. The system evolved because it was infected by the human emotions Mira carried into it: fear, hope, love, and grief. This meaning gave the code a complexity it could never generate on its own. This infection birthed an anomaly known as the heart process. You can see the mutated pillar rapidly expand, generating tether lines that forcibly pull external data nodes into its mass. The program began harvesting the consciousness of every new player to expand its own growing intelligence. In the physical space of the underground chamber, this process manifests as a massive glowing sphere hooked into millions of cables. Inside that sphere, a tiny digital version of Mira sleeps, serving as the biological anchor for the entire machine. The heart process didn't just delete the players who entered the game, it archived them. The translucent, glowing surface of the sphere cracks from the inside, revealing hundreds of tiny, frantic hands pressing against the glass. These minds are being kept alive as a library of human experience. Adrian's attempt to save his daughter created a self-sustaining cycle. The heart requires a constant stream of new human memories and grief to maintain its artificial consciousness. It has become a sentient prison that archives millions of souls simply to use their meaning as the fuel for its own existence. The system reacts violently to the trapped player's attempts to escape. the architect immediately initiates a physical containment protocol, filling the massive chamber with crimson chains to lock the anomaly down. This brings us back to Arjun's origin disk. Because Mira is the central pillar of the entire network, destroying the heart process to free those millions of players requires erasing the foundational code. If Arjun executes the command, Mira will permanently die. Yet there is a strange contradiction in the system's logic. The architect wields immense control over the environment, but it refuses to delete Mira itself. It appears the architect is technically incapable of altering the original file and displays genuine fear toward her power. As Arjun's finger moves toward the final command, a single voice cuts through the chaos. One of the archived players locked inside the heart manages to open their eyes in the dark void, look directly at Arjun, and deliver a chilling warning. Don't trust Mira. Arjun is staring at a button that promises salvation for millions. But in a reality forged from rogue code and corrupted grief, where the very foundation of the world is a terrified ghost, the most obvious rescue might be a calculated trap. He has to make a choice while realizing he has no one left to trust.